7 most mysterious and terrifying discoveries recently that brought archaeologists to tears. Have you ever wondered what lies hidden beneath the layers of humanity's dust through time? Some things, when unearthed, not only stun archaeologists, but also bring them to tears. Not because they are moved by the beauty of the past, but because of the haunting, the sorrow, and sometimes the spine-chilling horror. Hello everyone, welcome to Ancient History, where we uncover the oldest mysteries still surviving on this planet together. What do you think could make an archaeologist, a person accustomed to mummies, skeletons, and fallen civilizations, shed tears? An ancient curse resurfacing? A sacrificial ritual beyond imagination? Or shocking evidence of humanity's dark past? In the world of archaeology, people often encounter mummies, human bones, signs of war, or ancient rituals. But sometimes, discoveries go beyond imagination. From a child suspected to be a vampire chained in a deep grave, to the remains of a mother clutching her child during a disaster, or a mummy still with hair intact after thousands of years buried. All of these can move us, even seasoned archaeologists, to tears. In this video, I will take you through 7 archaeological discoveries that are mysterious, controversial, and deeply emotional. These stories are so real that you will be forced to ask yourself, do I have the courage to face truths buried for thousands of years? So, what exactly are these discoveries? Let's get started right now. The vampire child in the Polish cemetery. In August 2023, in the village of Pien, Poland, archaeologists discovered a 17th-century grave containing the remains of a child. However, what makes this grave unusual is not the location or the child's age, but the strange burial posture and the bizarre rituals surrounding it. The child was buried face down with their legs shackled by an iron chain, leading archaeologists to hypothesize that the child might have been considered a vampire. The burial posture and the iron chain were possibly used to prevent the child from rising from the grave and seeking revenge on the villagers, much like the vampire legends we often hear about. The child's skeleton was determined to be between 5 and 7 years old. This is not the only discovery at the site. In 2022, archaeologists found the skeleton of a woman believed to be a vampire, buried with a padlock attached to her big toe and a sickle placed across her neck, presumably to stop her from rising from the dead. These discoveries shed light on an important part of burial history during that era, revealing a unique custom connected to beliefs in vampires and fears rooted in folklore. Professor Dariusz Poliński, head of the excavation, said that the 2 graves were found just 6.5 feet apart in a special cemetery area. Researchers believe this was a burial ground for outcasts, people who were not accepted in Christian cemeteries. These graves often used unusual burial methods, including anti-vampire tactics such as triangular-shaped padlocks attached to the deceased's feet, along with signs that the graves had been dug up or disturbed after the initial burial. The question is, why were these individuals treated this way? Professor Poliński explained that it could be because they exhibited strange behavior while alive, causing fear among the community. Or they might have had a disease that altered their appearance, leading people to believe they were vampires. In the 17th century, people often feared unbaptized children or those who drowned, believing such individuals could return from the dead to harm the living. Vampire burial customs were not only common in Poland, but also widespread throughout Europe from the 14th century onward. According to Matteo Barini, a forensic anthropology lecturer at Liverpool John Moores University, people in the past often associated unexplained deaths with the presence of vampires. They believed these vampires would relentlessly hunt and kill family members, then move on to neighbors and villagers, much like how infectious diseases spread through a community. This really makes us reflect on the strange beliefs and customs of the past, doesn't it? Discoveries like these not only help us better understand burial history, but also highlight the fears and superstitions of earlier times. Do you think people in the past truly believed in vampires, or was this simply a way to explain phenomena they could not understand? The tomb of Qin Shi Huang's daughter. Ascending the throne at just 13 years old, Qin Shi Huang became the first emperor and one of the greatest rulers in Chinese history. Numerous legends and tales surround this emperor, with the Great Wall of China and the Lingkou Canal still standing today, serving as the clearest testament to his visionary leadership. However, despite being hailed as the eternal emperor with a glorious legacy, Qin Shi Huang's personal life was filled with tragedy. According to experts, Qin Shi Huang had up to 33 heirs, the most notable being Prince Fusu and Hu Hai, who later became the second emperor of the Qin dynasty. Among them, the princess most cherished by Qin Shi Huang was Yin Man. Pampered by her father, Princess Yin Man lived a life of luxury and carefree extravagance. However, everything changed drastically after Qin Shi Huang's death. Overnight, the princess lost everything, and along with her brothers, was sentenced to death by dismemberment. This tragedy is vividly reflected in an ancient tomb complex located east of the Qinling Mountains in Shanxi, China, excavated by experts in October 1976. After uncovering the first 8 tombs, archaeologists discovered numerous irregularities. In these tombs, most of the skeletal remains were buried in disarray. Some bodies had severed heads, were pierced by arrows, or had limbs detached, indicating that these individuals were brutally and cruelly executed. Moreover, the tombs were located near the Qinling Mountains and contained an enormous quantity of lavish and valuable burial goods. This led experts to speculate that the individuals buried there were closely connected to the Qin royal family, particularly Qin Shi Huang. Notably, a seal inscribed with the 2 characters Yang Si found in the tomb provided a clue to the mystery. According to experts, this seal confirmed the identity of Princess Yin Man, the beloved daughter of Qin Shi Huang. At this point, the secrets were unraveled. Specifically, after Qin Shi Huang's death, Prince Hu Hai conspired with the eunuch Zhao Gao to forge an imperial edict, plotting to kill Crown Prince Fusu to seize the throne. After successfully claiming the throne, Hu Hai ruthlessly eliminated all opposition, including his siblings. As a result, 12 princes were beheaded at the Xianyang marketplace, and 10 princesses were dismembered, plunging the royal palace into a scene of death and destruction. However, just 3 years into his reign, the dynasty fell into chaos. Hu Hai was forced to abdicate and took his own life in disgrace, leading to the collapse of the Qin dynasty. This can be described as a profoundly tragic historical saga. Ancient remains that moved archaeologists to tears. Over 4,000 years ago, Qinghai Province, China, experienced a catastrophic earthquake. Without warning, a deafening sound erupted. The sky darkened and the earth cracked, triggering landslides and collapse. In that moment, many perished before they could react, while survivors wept in despair amid the chaos as if it were the end of the world. When the dust finally settled, only devastation remained. In 1999, someone stumbled upon evidence of this earthquake and reported it to authorities, immediately drawing significant attention from China's archaeological community. A joint archaeological team was swiftly formed and dispatched to the site for excavation. As the site was uncovered layer by layer, it was revealed to be the Lajia site, lost to the earthquake 4,000 years ago. At the same time, a poignant display of maternal love, preserved for 4,000 years, came into view for future generations. According to data, the massive site spans a total area of approximately 4.3 million square feet, with the core area covering up to 2.15 million square feet. Archaeologists discovered a total of 14 human skeletons in house number. Astonishingly, most of these skeletons belonged to children, with the youngest being just 2 years old. It was evident that before the earthquake struck, these individuals had gathered together, unprepared and likely joyful, indicating the suddenness of the disaster. This was further suggested by the state of some of the skeletons. The catastrophic earthquake claimed the lives of everyone in an instant. The postures of the remains varied. Some were sprawled face down, others lay on their sides with bent limbs. Most striking was a skeleton embracing a child, positioned as if shielding them from harm. Upon seeing this, every archaeologist present was moved to tears. Through rigorous DNA testing, experts determined that the 14 skeletons were closely related, suggesting they were part of a single family. Beyond the family remains, archaeologists made an even more remarkable discovery: a bowl of noodles made from millet. Using similar methods, it was confirmed that people over 4,000 years ago used millet to make noodles. The Lajia site, now dubbed the Site of Love, was later recognized as one of China's top 10 archaeological discoveries. Today, the Lajia site is known as the Oriental Pompeii, renowned both domestically and internationally. If you have the opportunity to visit, you might uncover an unexpected discovery at this remarkable site. The 1,300-year-old skeleton of a woman who gave birth in her coffin. In 2010, during an excavation in the town of Imola, near the city of Bologna in northern Italy, archaeologists discovered the 1,300-year-old skeleton of a woman estimated to be between 25 and 35 years old. The skull had a hole on its top, and nearby was the unusually positioned skeleton of a fetus. The baby's head and torso lay between the mother's two thigh bones, while the leg bones remained inside the pelvic cavity. After thorough research, scientists concluded that the woman died while pregnant. She gave birth post-mortem and was buried with the newborn, a phenomenon known as coffin birth. Archaeologists from the University of Ferrara and the University of Bologna sought to unravel the mystery of the mother and child's deaths in a study published in the May 2018 issue of World Neurosurgery. Their research suggests that these two remarkable skeletons may represent a medieval example of a primitive brain surgery technique called trepanation. This procedure involved drilling or cutting a small hole in the patient's skull to relieve pressure and treat various ailments. In this case, however, the surgery failed, and the pregnant woman died along with her fetus still in the womb. So, what causes the phenomenon of giving birth in a coffin? What we know after death is that decomposition breaks down tissues and cells in the body. This is key to understanding this mysterious event. During decomposition, anaerobic bacteria rapidly multiply, reducing oxygen levels and causing the buildup of gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. These gases not only cause the body to swell, but also trigger contractions similar to those experienced by women during normal labor. As gas accumulates, the pressure increases, pushing the fetus out of the mother's body. Thus, this strange coffin birth occurs naturally as part of the body's decomposition process. Though no one has witnessed it firsthand, scientists believe that as a pregnant woman's body decomposes, trapped gases build up inside the abdominal cavity, creating pressure that forces the fetus out. The 4,800-year-old skeletons of a mother and child in Taiwan. Beneath the soft, dark soil of the central Taiwan plains, a scene beyond words stunned the entire archaeological team into silence. It was not a grand palace, golden treasure, or magnificent structure, but a deeply human moment. Fossilized for over 4,800 years, it was the skeleton of a young mother, bent over holding her infant tightly in her arms, her invisible eyes seemingly still gazing at her child with the full love of a primal mother. This portrait in bones is not only an archaeological testament, but also a timeless haunting, raising countless questions about death, life, and the undying bond of motherhood. Specifically, in 2014, during the excavation of a prehistoric communal burial site in Taichung, one of Taiwan's most important archaeological locations, experts uncovered 48 skeletons strangely arranged beneath the earth. These remains represent the earliest evidence of human presence in this land, dating back some 4,800 years. Each skeleton tells its own story of individuals who once lived, breathed, and walked this world. But among these dozens of nameless bones, only one image caused the entire excavation team to pause, fall silent, and feel deep emotion. The skeleton of a young woman kneeling, cradling a small child in her arms, her head bowed as if whispering a final farewell to her baby. Dr. Chu Wei-li, director of anthropology at the National Museum of Natural Science in Taiwan and a direct participant in the excavation, shared that the team was speechless when they uncovered these two skeletons. They were not just looking at cold bones, but witnessing a vivid moment, a profound symbol of motherhood preserved intact after nearly 5 millennia. The mother, estimated to be between 20 and 25 years old and approximately 5 feet 3 inches tall, was found kneeling, holding the child with her left arm, her head bowed as though gazing upon her child one last time. The infant, analyzed to be about 6 months old with bones roughly 19.7 inches in length, had lived at least half a year before passing away. Initially, researchers hypothesized that the infant might have died prematurely or from birth complications, but bone evidence disproved this theory. The remarkable detail is that both mother and child died simultaneously, in the same place, their posture suggesting a deep, unbroken bond. What caused their deaths? An accident? A natural disaster? Or a mysterious sacrificial ritual? Although the cause remains unclear, one fact is undeniable. Their posture was no accident. It is as if time itself had framed the moment, capturing the mother holding her child in the final instant of life. Prehistoric Taiwan left few written records or inscriptions for us to follow, but through archaeological sites like this burial ground, we can begin to imagine the lives and beliefs of ancient inhabitants. The neat, deliberate burial of 48 skeletons indicates the presence of funeral rites, vital customs within a nascent community. They not only lived and hunted together, but also buried their dead with profound respect. Among this community, the mother and child have become an emblem of love, transcending the boundary between life and death, something that even modern civilization struggles to fully express through science or language. The story of this mother's skeletal embrace is among archaeology's most touching discoveries, revealing the deeply human side of a field often reduced to dates, numbers, and bones. It reminds us that archaeology is not just about unearthing artifacts. It is about recovering emotions, memories, and the spiritual values of ancient people. Mummy with intact ears and hair, found in 2,000-year-old tomb. The city of Pompeii, famous for being buried under volcanic ash during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79, has preserved many mysteries about the lives of its ancient inhabitants. One of the most remarkable discoveries from recent excavations is the mummy of a man, remarkably well preserved with distinctive white hair and nearly intact ears, which surprised experts greatly. Initial studies identify the remains as those of Marcus Venerius Secundio, a man who was once a slave but lived a life of effort and advancement. He died around the age of 60, while many others likely perished younger due to the harsh living conditions in Pompeii at the time. Before his death, Marcus was relatively wealthy and held a notable social status. Originally a slave working at the Temple of Venus, Marcus was freed after many years of diligent labor. Upon gaining his freedom, he not only earned money but also became an organizer of Greek language performances, further elevating his social standing. When he passed away, Marcus was buried in a large rectangular tomb, clearly reflecting his wealth and status. Within the tomb, experts discovered valuable artifacts, including fragments of glass unguentaria, small bottles used to hold oils and perfumes in ancient Roman and Greek rituals. Additionally, they found scraps of cloth, wine vessels, and other objects that help archaeologists better understand Marcus's lifestyle, diet, and customs. Notably, Marcus was mummified rather than cremated, which was the common practice in Pompeii at the time. This poses a significant question. Experts are currently working to uncover why this particular method of body preservation was chosen, but the answer remains a mystery for now. The mysterious mummies of the Chilean desert. The Atacama Desert region in Chile is home to one of the most mysterious and unique cultures in human history, the ancient Chinchorro people. Their mummies astonish not only because of their sophisticated embalming techniques, but also due to the unique beliefs and rituals they practiced to preserve the presence of their ancestors. Unlike other cultures, such as ancient Egypt, where only kings or nobles were mummified, the Chinchorro performed these rituals for everyone, regardless of age or social status. Newborns, fetuses, and even animals were all carefully embalmed and treated with the same meticulous care as adults. The Chinchorro mummies are extremely special, preserved in various postures such as lying down, sitting, and some even smiling. These mummies still retain skin, hair, and clothing, creating a vivid image of those who have passed on. One of the strangest features is that the faces of some mummies were made from pelican skin, resulting in very distinctive facial masks with calm or smiling expressions. These mummies are not just archaeological artifacts, they are an integral part of the Chinchorro people's spiritual beliefs and way of life. The Chinchorro embalming technique was highly advanced and distinctive. One primary method involved natural dehydration, but the most important factor that contributed to the excellent preservation was the harsh environment of the Atacama Desert. The high temperatures and low humidity of this region caused the bodies to quickly lose moisture, preventing bacterial growth and keeping the remains in remarkable condition. Some mummies still have intact skin and hair, a rarity among other embalming cultures. The Chinchorro mummification ritual lasted for more than 3,000 years and went through various stages of development. Around 7,000 years ago, when the Chinchorro population rapidly increased, their embalming techniques were improved and flourished. Some mummies stand out with masks made from shrouds, ropes, and pelican skin, reflecting the distinctive artistic style of this culture. A notable discovery is the mummy of a boy wearing a mask, buried on a mat woven from reed plants, with his internal organs replaced by earth and covered in a layer of black manganese ash. The Chinchorro mummies are not just ancient relics, they reflect a profound belief in the enduring presence of ancestors. These mummies were carefully buried but often paraded through the village before interment, demonstrating respect and connection to the spiritual world. Additionally, the use of materials like reeds and ash to reinforce bones and joints shows the creativity and skill involved in Chinchorro embalming artistry. Especially significant is the care taken for children, who were embalmed thoroughly and mounted on wooden frames to be carried on their parents' backs, creating a striking and touching image of the bond between generations. This reveals a unique cultural aspect of the Chinchorro, where life and death were not distinguished. These mysterious mummies continue to be a fascinating subject of study for archaeologists. Although their embalming techniques share similarities with other cultures, the uniqueness of the Chinchorro is undeniable. They were not merely ordinary hunter-gatherers, but highly intelligent people with advanced skills in protecting and honoring ancestral souls, leaving an indelible mark in human history. You see, each skeleton, each tomb holds secrets yet to be unraveled, reflecting the beliefs, fears, and tragedies of ancient civilizations. Through them, we realize that history is not just numbers or events, it's an emotional journey, a testament to human connection that transcends time and space. So, what about you? Which discovery impressed you the most? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. For now, goodbye and see you next time.